he decided he wanted to make amends for the 13 years he had spent as a radical. So now he devotes himself to rebutting the very narrative he once passionately promoted.
Frankly, Leslie, I think it's the key factor in solving the problem we're experiencing in the world at the moment.
Countering the narrative.
Countering the narrative is the core of the solution, making this narrative as unfashionable as communism has become today.
To do that, he co-founded a think tank, the Quilliam Foundation, that is mostly funded by the British government. The idea is to influence the 2 million British citizens who are Muslim, and especially the roughly 2,000 of them who the government says are Islamic radicals who pose a threat to national security.
Now by Anjem.
It is their views Nawaz attacks. Here on the BBC, he's debating an extremist who wants to turn England into a caliphate, a religious state under Sharia law.
In your so-called caliphate, you'd have me killed, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you have me? Am I an apostate that deserves death?
Well, I mean, obviously, Maajid Nawaz is one of them.
Would I be executed as an apostate?
Well, you know what the
you've asked
punishment
me
is
about
apostasy.
We suddenly saw a police helicopter.
Here he is at Oxford, taking difficult questions, like the one about the drone attacks in Pakistan.
They bombed the buses, school buses of children, and they fired on them.
I'd be very angry and want to attack them back. What's the link between wanting to attack someone who's killed my family and wanting to enforce one interpretation of Islam over the entire country?
And now Maajid Nawaz is taking his war of ideas to Osama bin Laden's doorstep, Pakistan, where HT had sent Nawaz 11 years ago to spread the word.
It was 1999. Pakistan had just tested its atomic bomb, and the global leadership of HT had decided that they wanted to establish HT in this country so that their caliphate could go nuclear.
Oh, go nuclear.
Yeah.
Oh, they had the bomb.
Yeah.
They wanted a country with the bomb.
Well, because their intent is to establish their caliphate, their superstate, and then declare jihad against the world.
You came 11 years ago to convert people to extremism. You've come back to what? Undo what you did.
Absolutely, to undo what I did, but by using the same strategies and skills that I learned inside these organizations to try and use those skills against their message. I went to Egypt.
In the past year, he's spoken to about 7,000 students across Pakistan, including places that are so dangerous, he has to wear a flak jacket.
The first one here might...
The large gatherings are followed up with smaller workshops like this one in Lahore, where he tries to rip the narrative apart.
America did not invade Iraq because Iraqis are Muslims. Oil, money, economic interests, who knows? But it was not because Iraqis are Muslims. Do you know how many Muslims are in America? Do you know how many mosques there exist in America? Do you know Obama's father is Muslim?
Of the 70 students, about a third were women, some with headscarves, some without. All were engrossed as Nawaz railed against the Islamic radicals who set off their bombs in marketplaces or mosques and disparaged those who then remained silent.
Why are we busy making excuses for the terrorists? Why don't we protest against the terrorists like we protest against America? Is it not also a crime when Muslims are killing Muslims?
The students in Lahore seemed receptive to his message, but then this is a city with a history of religious tolerance.
That's the Sikh temple.
Nawaz showed us a Sikh temple that was built in 1848 right next to the Great Bachai Mosque.
I don't want anybody to tell me how to worship God.
He had a much rougher time at another workshop with a group from Peshawar and the Swat Valley. More of the students here believe the narrative, and they challenge Nawaz. Why do Western countries want to destroy Islam? Why does democracy lead to homosexuality? Why is the U.S. trying to prevent the teaching of Islam?
Why they are against Islamic teaching in Pakistan.
For 5 hours, Nawaz attacked their hardened anti-Western views.
No, that's not true.
He debated and pleaded and argued that, okay, the civilian casualties from drone attacks are tragic, but Al-Qaeda has killed many more innocent civilians.
If a man walked in here today and he jumped in the middle with a suicide bomb and he said, I'm going to kill you all because America has bombed Waziristan, you'd be the first to stand up and say, what have I got to do with that? Why are you killing me?
And after all of that, I wondered if he was making any headway against the narrative. How many of you believe it is U.S. policy to be at war with Islam and to destroy Islam. Okay, so about a third of you believe that.
I have a question regarding 9/11.
When this student got up to ask me a question about the bombing of the World Trade Center, I got a feel for how much we can talk past each other. So you're telling me that Al-Qaeda didn't do 9/11? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
We all know that Al-Qaeda was created by the CIA to...
He was saying it was the CIA that told Osama bin Laden to attack on 9/11. We attacked our own Pentagon and the World Trade Center to have a justification to go into Afghanistan. Do you really believe that?
Yeah.
They believe we attacked ourselves so we could go to Afghanistan and kill Muslims. What I'm sensing is that there is an enormous amount of anti-Americanism. Am I right?
Give us one single reason to love America, and we will forget about the rest of the millions of reasons to hate America.
After a statement like that, you begin to question whether even a former extremist can uproot the idea here that the West is out to destroy Islam. You're one person, and you're kind of blowing into the wind. It's almost like Don Quixote.
Right.
Tilting at windmills.
There are people who are as frustrated as we are with extremism in their own country here in Pakistan, but they've never had anyone to articulate that frustration, to organize them, and to help them work along those lines. That means work. It means we have to be in it for the long haul. And it means the solution isn't going to come through bombs or through prison. It has to come through the ideas debate, which is, by definition, a long strategy.